Well, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are here to talk about all things fifth quarter, and I am going to share my screen and I am going to tell you all about fifth quarter. For those of you who don't know or haven't heard, to be one that I think is going to be, that is going to be very exciting for you, and one that I think maybe you haven't kind of heard it explained this way before. But let me share with you, this is kind of, in my opinion, really a secret weapon to business is the fifth quarter. And I want to talk to you guys about fifth quarter because, like I said, it's one of those where I feel like people just don't really understand it or know what it is. But before we get into that, let me tell you who I am specifically so you know. My name is Dawn Sinkula. I am the founder of Digital Dawn. We are an e-commerce marketing agency that has been in business for 10 years. I have been in the marketing space for over 20 years, and I have helped countless business owners grow and scale. I'm very passionate about helping entrepreneurs, women specifically in the health and wellness space. Prior to owning my agency, I worked for Target Corporation as one of their senior executives in the finance and marketing space. And the reason I share this with you is because this is where the concept of fifth quarter really came into play for me, was more so around the sort of fifth quarter concept that we had at Target. And the more I got into my own world and more I got into the space of marketing and business owners, this fifth quarter concept really started to play out with our clients and the people that we support and help. So that's what this is going to be about, is what is fifth quarter. So fifth quarter is, in my mind, really the time after holiday and before the end of January. So sometimes people think of it as the month of January, just specifically, but it's really kind of after Christmas. So even that week of New Year's and the end of January. And it's not really like in the financial space or anything like that, a real quarter. It's just sort of a made up sort of quarter that people like to reference. But it's all about that critical period when a lot of times business owners will take their foot off the gas and they will say, oh my gosh, I'm going to relax in marketing. I'm not going to pay attention to what's going on. I'm going to be going on vacation. People are all spent out. They don't really have a lot of money. Sales are going to go down. So I'm going to take my foot off the gas. And really, what I will tell you is that fifth quarter is the time where you should really be gearing up on your marketing. It is when things don't slow down. And in fact, it is the best time to plan, strategize, and set yourself up for some serious sales during this time. Now, why would that be when you think, gosh, okay, Black Friday's over. We've already had Black Friday. We've already had, the main holiday. Everybody's already purchased their gifts, that kind of thing. So why would people be interested in continuing to buy? But here's the thing. A lot of people have gotten gift cards. A lot of people have money to spend, and a lot of people are looking for after holiday sales. So if you go into a retail store, a lot of times, big box retailers, like I said, will put all of their holiday stuff on clearance right after the Christmas season. Everything will go on sale. Now, I'm not telling you to put your things on sale, but what I'm saying is that people are still very much on the hunt for really good deals after the holiday season. And that's where this fifth quarter really comes into play. Where fifth quarter comes into play. So what I want to cover today is I want to make sure that you really understand what fifth quarter is. I want to make sure that you understand key strategies to leveraging this time of year and why and how you can really do that. Some tools and metrics to measure your success, and then some really practical steps to implement today to get you set up for this 5 to 6 week period where I think you can really drive a lot of sales. Okay. So again, kind of get yourself into this fifth quarter mindset. So the first thing that I want you to do is to get yourself out of the mindset of, okay, we don't want to, I'm going to step back. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to like go on vacation. I'm not going to really do much in the way of marketing and or promoting my products because everybody is heard enough, seen enough, and they're all burned out. That is definitely not the case. Okay. So let's change our mindset. Let's start thinking about this 5 or 6 weeks of fifth quarter as the time to really gear back up. And for those of you who are already geared up, you might be thinking, oh, Dawn, you're telling me I have to keep going, the momentum. Oh my gosh. But trust me, when I tell you that this is a time of year where a lot of people take their foot off the gas, like I said, and you can really step out into kind of the spotlight here with your products and really offering something that people haven't seen before or some really good deals where other people are really winding down. So get your mindset into the fact that, okay, just because Christmas is over, everybody thinks January is not gonna, do great with sales. You're going to shift your mindset and you are going to get yourself into that mindset where you are going to sell, sell, sell. Okay. So here's some key strategies to maximizing the fifth quarter and things that I really want you guys to take a look at while you're thinking about how to do these things. All right. So, first and foremost, make sure that you audit your marketing channels. Okay. And when I say market or audit your marketing channels, the things I'm talking about are, obviously taking a look at your social media platforms, making sure that they are all up to date and current and they're not just all holiday sales and Black Friday sales. And that's the only post that you've ever had on there for the last 6 weeks is all about sales, 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 right? I want you to make sure that you're providing value, that you're talking about your products, and that you are also giving some insight into things that you want to start promoting during this fifth quarter. Okay. Make sure that you change your website to say 2025. A lot of the things that I see happen at this time of year is people forget to change the little footer that says 2024 to 2025, or they haven't changed it since, 2010. We've got, outdated things on our websites. We've still got Black Friday stuff up. We've still got Christmas stuff up. Not that you can't continue to promote holiday things through the end of the year, but make sure that this looks a little bit different so that people know that you're going to be promoting or you're going to be talking about something different than what you already have been talking about during this fourth quarter Black Friday holiday sort of stuff. Make it look and feel a little bit different. Here's an example. So as you look at my PowerPoint, those of you who have been on other calls with me or you look at my brand, we're kind of changing things for 2025. We're going to redefine some of the colors. We're going to make things look a little bit different. We're going to freshen things up a little bit. And it's just going to kind of hopefully draw some intrigue into what's going on, what's different with them. Why are they, this looks different than what I've seen in the past. That's what you really want to try to do when you're auditing, okay? Making sure that your marketing channels are fresh and updated. Redefining your customer retention plans. Now, this is one of the things that I think is so, so important. And when I say redefining customer retention plans, what I'm really talking about is all of the customers that you have made sales to during this fourth quarter, or all of the customers that you have acquired during this fourth quarter. How are you going to continue to sell to them or retain them during fifth quarter? So you may be thinking, well, they just bought something, Dawn. Why are they going to want to buy something again? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about redefining customer retention plans. What are you going to do to continue to sell to them during this fifth quarter? So this might be things like, hey, did you know I saw that you purchased product or widget A. Did you know that we have widget B, widget C, widget D that complements what you purchased? Did you know that we have a VIP program? Did you know that we have a loyalty program? Did you know that you could earn points? Did you know, whatever it is, define or redefine that customer retention program and make sure that those customers that you've just acquired and or your customers that you've had for many years know and understand your programs or anything that might complement what they've already purchased. If you've had customers for a very long time, It's a great way to reintroduce them to new programs or to new loyalty features or to new items that you are offering. Talk a lot about the products. Don't necessarily sell them, but talk a lot about the products. Educate, educate, educate. Now is a great time to talk and educate your clients, customers about the things that they've purchased, and then compliment or share complementary products that will go along with that. Okay, so redefining or defining those customer retention plans and then being able to start executing that during fifth quarter is extremely important. Also, inventory numbers. A lot of times I see our clients or customers forget to kind of go back and refresh and update inventory numbers. Now, if you've got your inventory already happening through like a Shopify store or you've got a third-party distributor, hopefully that's being done for you. But if you're a small boutique, company where you're hand making or you're handcrafting products, make sure that you go through and you spend a little bit of time after the holiday in between Christmas and New Year and update your inventory, because this is the time where you want to really look at the products that maybe didn't sell as well as you thought during the holiday season. And those might be products that you either want to put on sale, you want to bundle them differently, you want to talk about them with your new customers or your current customers, or you want to somehow ensure that you have enough product if you're going to continue to promote. And again, sell, sell, sell. Now, the way that you do this has to be very strategic, the selling piece. And that, like I said, has to come through really great communication through updating marketing channels, redefining and talking to your customers, and making sure that you've got the inventory that you need on hand so that you can sell those new products or the products that maybe didn't sell. So let's measure your success. Okay, so what gets measured gets managed and focused on, right? So for those of you who are on Shopify, what I want you to do is I want you to look at your conversion rates. I want you to look at the conversion rates that you have had on your Shopify store or any store, your Etsy store, your WooCommerce store, your BigCommerce store, whatever tool you're using. I want you to look at your conversion rates. And this is an opportunity for you to do some things differently during fifth quarter than maybe what did or didn't work during fourth quarter. So if your conversion rate is not up, what I want you to do, and your conversion rate should be somewhere between the 2.5 to 3%. That's kind of the average for most e-commerce stores right now is 2.5 to 3%. So what does that mean? That means that for every 100 people that come to your store, 2 or 3 of them are going to actually convert into customers. Okay. So if you're not hitting that mark of at least 2.5 to 3%, there's some things that you might want to look at on your conversion rate or the way in which your store flows that you can refresh and update for fifth quarter to increase that conversion. Okay. And you should, most e-commerce stores have a lot of traffic during fourth quarter. So you should see some really great statistics, some really great numbers during that time. So it should give you a pretty good measure of success if you're looking at your conversion rates. And if you see that number hit that average, fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing or tweak it to see if you can do better. If it's not, then you want to definitely make some changes during fifth quarter so that you are able to capture and increase that number of sales. Okay. Lifetime value of your customer. This is an important piece of information and data. So when you look at lifetime value of your customer, what you're doing is saying, okay, how much will my customer spend over the lifetime of being my customer? So they may come in and purchase something at $20, but they may come back and purchase something at $50 or something at $100 or something at $10. How much has a customer purchased over the lifetime of them being a customer of yours? Okay. And that's something that then can tell you what you might want to sell during fifth quarter to be able to increase that lifetime value of your customer. Because if you increase the lifetime value of your customer, you're going to make more money, you're going to have more profit. If you're using advertising or you're use some way to get customers to your store, a lot of times you've had to purchase those customers. You've had to use Facebook ads or Meta or, TikTok or YouTube or Google or something you've used to get them to your store. And in order to do that, you've probably had to pay for them. So you want to offset that cost by having a higher lifetime value of your customer so that you are making more profit off of them. Okay, so lifetime value of your customer is something very important, and it helps you leverage what you need to sell during fifth quarter to increase that. And then that looks at your inventory and how do you sell? Okay, see where I'm going with this? Okay, and then what do you need to get rid of or leverage? So this inventory piece is an important part because you don't want to sit on something, particularly if you've had a holiday promo or you've made something specifically for the holiday and you can't get rid of it, or you didn't sell as much as you wanted to, or you've bundled something together, or you've created some sort of special offer, a special deal, and you really need to maybe get rid of the product, or you want to pull those products apart now. If you were in my webinar during the fourth quarter Black Friday piece that I talked about bundling products that you already have and creating new sort of bundles or offers together without having to create an entirely new or create something entirely new, taking product A and taking product B, putting them together for the first time and selling those as a Black Friday offer. Okay, so this might be the time now to pull product A and product B apart, make sure you've got inventory, and then sell those again individually, maybe as a special deal, or maybe you do give a percentage off, but making sure that you understand what your inventory looks like so that you know what to get rid of or you know where you've got leverage. Okay. All right. So some practical next steps. Let's set up an audit. Okay. We talked about reviewing your website, your ads, your customer experience. So really what we can do is do a quick checklist on all of these things. Now, I've got some tools and materials that I'm going to share with you guys when we're done with this webinar that's going to help you audit and review some of these things specifically. For those of you who signed up, you're going to get access to some of this. It's going to help you very quickly kind of increase your ability to go through this checklist, kind of look at some things, your customer experience, and kind of refresh what's going on. I want you to engage with your customers. Okay. Fifth quarter is an amazing time to get feedback. Now, you got to make sure that your customers have had the product, right? A lot of times people are giving your product as gifts. So make sure that it's after Christmas or, that first week in January. And I want you to collect and send out requests for feedback, testimonials, and UGC, which is user generated content. I want you to ask people how they liked the product that they either received as a gift or how did they like the product that they purchased during this last fourth quarter. Ask for the feedback and incentivize them to give you that feedback. So when I say incentivize, I don't necessarily mean that you have to give something in order for them to, get something in return or for you to get that feedback. So a lot of times people will say, "Oh, I'll give you 10% off if you give me a review." And that's fine if your margins can, support that and you're able to do that. That's totally fine. And you want to do that. But also, a lot of times it's like, hey, I'm a small business owner. It means a lot to me to be able to get feedback from my customers. I want to make sure that I'm providing you the best product possible. Could you please tell me how you liked this? Could you just reply back to this message or reply back to this email and let me know? Or could you go online and leave a review on my website or on my social? I'd so appreciate it. It makes, it means the world to me to be able to have that. So I think a lot of times, we are sometimes scared to ask for the feedback, but people buy from other people's feedback. And so it's important that you ask for it. And now is a great time because people will love the product that they've received for a gift. And it's a great time to get that feedback. Even if the feedback is just a couple sentences in an email, you can still use that as user generated content. It's even better if you want to get a video from that person and have them be able to, give you a video or something like that. Now, if you want to incentivize them to give you a video and say, hey, if you send a video back, I'll, put your name in the hat for a free product, or, I will give you 10% off if you give me a video testimonial, something like that. I'm totally okay with, because a lot of times getting people on camera to say or do something is kind of going like that extra step. And so sometimes you have to incentivize them to be able to do that. Okay. So also with that, I want you to plan a strategic breakthrough. Okay. So I want you to outline initiatives to roll out post downtime. So this kind of fifth quarter, I want you to pick 2 or 3 things that you are going to do differently during this 5 to 6 weeks. So after Christmas till the end of January, like today, pick 2 or 3 things that you are going to do differently that you have never done before during that time. And how are you going to do it? Okay, so let's talk about those types of things. Could be sending out emails, sharing product that has never been seen before, educating, talking about things that people haven't heard about your product, so on and so forth. So all of these things are great ways and practical next steps to kind of get this going. Okay. And I want to just make sure that, first of all, this was a short and to the point sort of fifth quarter. I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions. But I also want to just emphasize the fact that these 5 or 6 weeks, and the reason I keep saying 5 or 6 weeks is because when Thanksgiving happens this late in the season, that buying time is shorter, right? And so, Christmas is next week. We've got 5, 6 weeks till the end of January, and here we go. So that fifth quarter can be short, right? And we know that time is precious. So don't take your foot off the gas. Don't not use this time to be able to really sell some products. I promise you, it is so worth the effort. Also, if you are doing Facebook ads, the one thing that I will tell you is that we know January and February, the cost for Facebook ads has a tendency to go down. And I say tendency because not always, has a tendency, costs go down during that time because a lot of businesses, like I said, take their foot off the gas. They don't spend as much money on advertising because they think everybody's tapped out. And if you are thinking about getting into Facebook ads or Meta ads, this is a great time to be able to do it in January, that second, third week of January. It's a fantastic time to get started. But also know that you can start ramping up some of your spend in January as well, because I think you will see that cost will go way down. Okay. So I am going to open it up for any questions or comments or thoughts that you guys have on what's going on for fifth quarter. What questions do you have? How can I answer anything for you guys? What's there? Okay, so go ahead and drop your questions into the chat for me, and I will start answering. I've had some people reach out with some questions already, but I will answer and ask as we go here. So one of the questions is, if the holiday season didn't meet expectations, what's the first step I should take to bounce back and use fifth quarter effectively? And I think that's a great question. If your fourth quarter didn't meet expectations, one of the first things that I would do is, kind of go back through that audit process and find out what maybe didn't happen. Was it that your website wasn't converting? Was it that you weren't quite ready for the traffic? Did you not have enough inventory? What is the main reason, or could you pinpoint one of the reasons as to why it wasn't what you expected? Now, a lot of times people say, I didn't have enough traffic, I didn't have enough sales, right? So my question to you is, did you maximize every avenue you absolutely had or could to be able to make sales? So were you on social frequently? Did you send consistent emails? Did you, run any specials? Did you have any deals? If not, that's okay. But now is the time to be able to do that. So if you have an email list, the thing that I would do is, if your sales didn't go as planned, I would start emailing my list pretty consistently, go back to former customers that you currently have, and make sure that you email them, educate them, tell them what's new and going on in your business for the new year. During fourth quarter, here were some things that maybe you saw, and then now here's some things that are going to be coming up. Even go so far as to talk directly to the customers that have purchased from you in the past or purchased something specifically from you in the past. Say widget, you bought widget A. How, did you know that you could use it like this? Did you know that you could use that? Oh, and by the way, I have widget B that complements that very well. Would you like to buy it? Those kinds of things. So talk to your audience, but audit yourself first and find out where those opportunities might have been, and then go from there. Thanks for that question. What metrics or data points should I focus on during Q5 to ensure post Xmas and into January? So I think one of the biggest pieces, obviously sales are important, right? And making sure that your sales are happening and that they're there. But one of the things that we talked about earlier was around your conversion rate, and making sure that your store is set up for success. You've got to have a store that is easy for people to purchase from. And if you are not hitting that 2.5 to 3% conversion rate, something about your sales process or something about the process on your website is not flowing as it should. Okay. And that is really one of the things that I think is super, super important for a lot of people to know, is something about your process on your website is not working. So your buttons, maybe, are they like easy to get to? Check your website out on mobile. We know that 70 to 80% of the people that are shopping, particularly this year, but in any year, but it's just getting more and more, are shopping from their phone. And I can't tell you how many times I have gone to a website myself this last couple weeks to purchase something, and I'm doing it from my phone, and I'm getting so frustrated because the buttons are down at the bottom. I have to scroll. I can't get to it. It's got a pop up in the middle that's super annoying, and it stays there forever, and I can't find the X button to get rid of it. Or I don't know how to find the cart for where I'm checking out now that I'm on my phone. It's not intuitive. All of these things are frustrations for customers, and they will bounce off of your website. So if you've got a very high bounce rate or your conversion rate is not at least average, make sure you start there. That would be my number one thing. And I think that's probably the biggest way to start driving and focusing on Q5, is to make sure that your website is set up for success. Now, if you've already done that, you've hit those numbers, everything's great. Then this kind of goes into the second or the third question here, is like about inventory. What inventory do you have that you can get rid of? And how do you start really leveraging that so that you're not, sitting on a ton of inventory that you didn't move, or maybe you over purchased and you didn't sell as much as you should have? How can you start leveraging some of that inventory so that you're not, holding it for the whole year? One of the questions around, how can I clear out leftover inventory without discounting so much that it hurts my brand's perceived value from my potential customers and current customers? I think that's great. So if you have product that's left over, okay, and I talked about this before, but I like to bundle products together for fourth quarter or for Black Friday that maybe you haven't seen in the past. Okay. So for example, you take widget A, you sell it all the time on your website as a standalone product. You have widget B, you sell it as a standalone all the time as a product. But for fourth quarter, let's say you combined product A and product B, and you made it a special bundle that nobody's ever seen before. And maybe you never will put them back together like that. That's kind of how I like to do Black Friday. You don't always have to discount that. You can put that together and sell two things as one, bundle, right? The same holds true for fifth quarter, where if you have not bundled things, you definitely can do that. And you can start putting, if you put A and B together, maybe you put A and C together this time, or B and D go together, and you create different sorts of bundles or different offerings that people haven't seen with the leftover inventory that you have. Now, again, you don't have to discount those bundles, although you could if you really needed to get rid of it. But you could put those together and say a new year package or a new year bundle that you have never seen together before, or something that you haven't seen like this before. Or did you know that product A goes with product C. And here's a bundle that I'm going to put together for those of you who, want to try both of these two things together. It's a great way to do that without having to discount. Now, if you are really sitting on a lot of inventory, like you really over purchased, and it's going to be hard for you to get rid of this just by bundling, sometimes discounting is okay if your margin is there. When I talked about this at the beginning of, the webinar here, I was saying that Target, has an after, most retailers have an after holiday sale, right? And it doesn't necessarily make you think less of Target because they're putting things on sale. It just helps you know that they're getting rid of things and you can buy things for next year and all sorts of stuff. And so for me, I always am like looking for deals after the holiday, after the first of the year. So if you do have a lot of inventory and you do have a lot of things to sit on, I definitely would encourage you to think about that if it's an option for you and your margins, can support a 10% or a post-holiday sale bundled together, something like that. How would you bundle jewelry together? That's a great question. So depending on what kind of jewelry you have, if you have necklaces and earrings, I would do like a necklace and earring set together. If you just sell earrings, do you sell like the posts for the back of your earrings, or could you sell extra posts? I know that I'm constantly losing the back of my earrings. I found these little, rubber things that go on the back of the dangly earrings that help keep the earring forward, right? To show it so that it looks better on your ear. Do you sell those? Could you sell those as a bundle? Could you sell a ring and a necklace set together, a bracelet and an earring set together? Could you, bundle different things together that maybe people haven't seen before, and or accessories for your jewelry? Sometimes people want, necklaces, but they want an extra length to it. You can always get those extra pieces where you can put extra length into your necklace. You can, like I said, you can do backs to the earrings, you can do those little rubber pieces to earrings. There's all sorts of creative ways to, sell jewelry together that I think is amazing. And a lot of times people want, collection pieces, or they want to see things together. I love having a necklace and an earring set that matches, or a ring and a bracelet that matches together. Things like that. So that might be a suggestion for you, Debbie, if that's something that works for your business. So, okay, you guys. So what I am going to do is we are going to drop the link to the free guide. I think my team is going to drop the link to the free guide here in the chat, and we are going to for sure send it out in the replay. But this is a link for you to be able to kind of test the waters for what's going on in January of 2025. And it's going to give you the opportunity in a PDF version to be able to sort of see your post-holiday blueprint. Okay, it's going to give you a bunch of different ideas. We'll send this out to you, but feel free to download it here as well. For those of you who have not yet gone over to the Digital Dawn download store, we're going to drop a link to our store. And this is a place where I have created a bunch of digital assets for small business owners to use. I get asked all the time, do you have anything that would help me like with TikTok Reels? Do you have anything that would help me with creating Canva templates? I need some ideas for hooks. I need a spreadsheet to organize my COGS or to do my marketing budget in. So I created this shop, and I'm going to pull this up here so you guys can see it. Let me stop sharing really quick. And I am going to show you this. And I'm going to be adding things to this all the time so that you guys can see, kind of new things that are coming. But I want to share this with you because I feel like it's a really good resource, and will give you a discount code. If you're not already on my list, I'll give you a discount code for 25% off of the store. You just need to use fifth quarter as the discount, and we'll drop that in here in the chat as well. And all you have to do is type that in and you will be able to use that when you check out. I've got a holiday sales bundle, which has got Canva, social media templates, email marketing, a metrics dashboard. I've got Canva templates. These can be edited right in Canva. You can change your colors, you can change the title, but they're already pre-made for you. I've got email marketing templates. If you're not sure what to say to your to your email list, like I kind of struggle with sometimes, here's just basically a fill in the blank for all things email related. So you download these, the places that are highlighted, you change the words, you make this sound like yourself, but these are customizable email marketing templates that we've created that I know absolutely work. We've got spreadsheets, we've got, how to use social media, mastering Facebook ads, 365 days of social media prompts. This is specifically for female ecom business owners. It's very tailored. It's great. I will tell you guys, if you're anything like me and you struggle to figure out what to say on social media, this gives you something for every single day for the whole year. And then we've got 99 hooks. I've got so much stuff in here, you guys. So please go take a look. You can get 25% off. Some of the stuff is really, really cheap. Okay. It's not, like $4.97. Some of this, I think my most expensive thing is like $27 or something. It'll give you 25% off. Take advantage of it, use it. And then any feedback that you have on things that you would like to see that would be helpful, please let me know that as well. And we will be creating lots of new amazing things for 2025. So please take advantage. Are there any final questions that are out there? Anything that I can answer for you? I wanted to make sure I kept this really short today because I know we are all so busy during this time of year, but I thank you guys so much for joining me for this. And it was awesome to see you guys. We'll be sure to send out the replay if you want to watch anything in the past, and we'll be doing more webinars in 2025. So thank you for being on the email list and watch for more to come. All right. Happy holidays to everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.